This EPB Classic Rerun is brought to you by Calvert and Nunn Insurance in Glasgow. Calvert and Nunn Insurance not only offer a variety of policies, but are exceptional in their customer service and up-to-date quotes. Contact Vicki Bartley and her staff for any of your insurance needs. Calvert and Nunn Insurance is next to the Plaza Theater in downtown Glasgow.
Hi, I'm Bailey Schick with the 5th edition of HVE. Last week, NASA engineers showed off a new 6-wheeled vehicle that will be on the planet Mars on July 1997. It will help scientists learn more about this planet. In world news, Monday, a two-headed snake was born in South Africa. Except the two heads, they shared all the internal organs, so scientists do not expect this snake to live very long. In other world news, scientists have discovered an underground realm that has been isolated for 5 million years, and that has involved a food chain that doesn't depend on sunlight. Serban Sarbu has found more than 30 new species in the Mooville cave. All of the new species rely on food produced by sulfur-eating bacteria. Sarbu says that makes the Mooville cave the first known ecosystem that is completely based on chemical synthesis of energy rather than photosynthesis. Also in world news, there was a 300-car pile-up in Italy. Fast drivers and sudden fog is a recipe for disaster on Italian highways in the latest pile-up 300 cars. Smashed in a chain reaction that sent gasoline-fed flames across the highway in northern Italy and left twisted metal strewn. About hundreds of people were hurt, some seriously. The site of yesterday's crash, the A4 highway, was full of shattered glass. Some vehicles went up in flames, coloring the fog with an orange glow. Rescuers used metal cutters and blown torches to reach victims. In U.S. news, earlier this week there was a flooding in Washington, Oregon, and northern Idaho. President Bill Clinton visited this area on Wednesday. In other U.S. news, Senator Bob Dole scored a shaky victory in Iowa's Republican presidential caucus last night. Pat Buchanan emerged from the GOP field to second place from Tennessee Governor. Lamar Alexander ran third. All of the candidates vowed to press on, but Iowa's results were sure to dampen the hopes of publisher Steve Forbes, who was a distant fourth and were perhaps a fatal blow to Texas Senator Phil Gramm, who ran fifth. President Bill Clinton was opposed in the state's Democratic cases. Finally, in U.S. news, 50 years ago this week, the electronic numerical integrated computer was first demonstrated at the University of Pennsylvania. Counted to 5,001/5 of a second, made up the first general-purpose computer. Until then, people using mechanical calculators needed 12 hours to do what unique PIO in half-primitive at the Smithsonian Institution. The university has planned an entire year of events honoring ENIAC's birthday. Vice President Al Gore will throw a switch on Wednesday, the day of ENIAC's birthday, when it was fully operational. ENIAC filled up a 3C by 50-foot room. It has 6,000 switches and 3,000 blinking lights. Computers now are everywhere. Nintendo games and movie special effects. Just about every sector of society is being changed because the opening of Russia and the East Bloc had much more to do with computers and facts. Machines then have anything else. Once you start getting information to people, they start making up their mind for themselves. Business demand computer literature workers. Virtually no business can afford to operate without computers. Now to Patrick with sports.
Now we're to my favorite part of today's thing on today's news. Sports. Well, to start the day off, we'll start with the NBA All-Star game. The East over the West, 129-118, the final score. Michael Jordan was the MVP of the game, although he did not take the trophy because he thought Shaquille O'Neal should have the trophy with 25 points and 11 rebounds. In some more sports games, Arizona was over Cincinnati 79-76. The game was tied at 76 until someone shot the ball 2/3 of the court with 3 seconds left on the clock and banked it in. I think that should be the play of the year. Another game is Kentucky and Arkansas game. Kentucky went of the Razorbacks 88-73. Hey, baseball fans, spring training starts next week. The big thing in Kentucky is the new jerseys. What do you think about them, Brian?
I think they are pretty cool. How about you?
I think they bring them good luck, don't you?
Yeah.
Ever since they had the new jerseys, they have won every game except it has been pretty close. Jamal Mashburn of the Dallas Mavericks had knee surgery. He is expected to miss the rest of the season. The pain was caused by a red on the end of the knee. Mashburn was a Vorageous 23.4 for Mavericks. The University of Louisville basketball team remained in this week's Associated Press Top 25, despite last Thursday's 68-65 loss to unranked Tulane. The Cardinals slipped for favorite 4 spots to numbers 24 in the ranking. Release forward Brian is drilling. Release forward Brian Kisses is drilling 3 3-pointers. Guard DeJuan Wheat is leading center for the Player of the Year left in his career. Drunking Machine Alan Sims already has left an indelible mark. Cooley Verdine scored 24 points to lead Louisville from a 39-35 halftime defeat to beat Western Kentucky 95-85 men's Sun Belts Conference basketball game. I think the SpongeBall should go to them. To the start of the Olympic Games, July 19th, USA Today will repeat twice a month is sport by sport on effort of U.S. Hope Fields to create for the Games. The U.S. women have drawn an opening Olympic opponent that hasn't beaten in the men major international competition. The U.S. women last lost to Cuban in a 1989 qualifying tournament. The McDonald's American Cup, a mini Olympic preview, is February 29th, March 2nd in Fort Worth. The U.S. team of Shannon Miller, Unique Mokin, Christy Powell, Kearney Strug, John Rutherford, and Blaine Wilson will compete against athletes from 24 continents in the all-around competition. Several U.S. women and team players have been on the road promoting the sports. Pitcher Michael Granger, outfields Leo Bryan, and catcher Shelley Stoke appeared on a recent game of the ABC TV Mike and Mary show. 2 of the USA's butterfly specialists, 92 Olympic heroes Summer Sanders and Mark Henderson, are swimming's hottest new couple. They're planning on enjoying a romantic Valentine's Day before heading into the newer whacking Olympic trails March 6 through 12. Both must finish in the top 2 of their events to make the USA team. Hockey standings: Eastern Conference, Atlantic NYR Rangers, in New York Rangers 33, Florida Florida 33. Western Conference, Central Detroit 39, Pacific Colorado 30. Wayne Gretzky was about trade tales from Tuesday as rumors continued to focus on the New York Rangers or St. Louis Blues as the leading candidates to land them, although the Kings continue to talk to Gretzky about a contract. They have let it be known they are listening to offers for the great one. Gretzky is willing to stay in Los Angeles, but only if the Kings make run at winning immediately. If not, he would use his interesting free agency to move this summer. A 4-year-old Clumber Spaniel won Best Show in the Westminster Kennel Dog Show at New York's Madison Square Garden. He became the first of his kind to the Canine Show World's Most Praised title. Country Sunrise, the dog, can hold 3 tennis balls in his mouth. World champion Gary Kasparov is competing against the world's strongest chess computer in a best-of-6 in Philadelphia. The machine, named Deep Blue, Gary and a Deep Blue play to a draw in the game. The sixth game man U.S. computer now stands second points each. In Game 3, playing with black pieces, world chess player Kasparov got off to a strong start, but Deep Blue, a chess-playing computer developed by scientists, fought back game on the 39th move. Kasparov offered a draw. Team IBM accepted the offer, concluding the 3-hour, 8-minute game. How much do Dale Earnhardt and car owner Richard Childers want to win the Daytona 500? We spend more time testing here than probably 10 the tracks together, said a winning the pole position for this Sunday's race. the effort that goes into the day to the NASA 500, the engine probably double time that goes into the Charlotte, Atlanta, and Michigan all put together. Winning the Daytona 500 is what it's all about. In last week's Busch Clash, in the first race, Dale Jarrett won. In the second race, Sterling Marlin won. Good luck to the drivers in the Daytona 500. In the Lady Scotties games, the Scotties lost to Hart County, lost to Russellville County, and lost to Metcalfe County. They play Calvert tonight. In the JV ladies, they won against Hart County, won against Metcalfe County, and in freshman ladies, that district attorney they lost to Metcalfe County. In Scotty men's games, the men lost to Hart County, lost to Russellville County, beat Clinton County big time, and they play Calvert tonight. In JV men, they beat Metcalfe County. In freshman men, the men lost to district attorney, won against Metcalfe County, and lost to Clinton County. In the swim team, Anthony Mason first in individual medley, 4 lengths, 4 different strokes, second in 2 other races. Tevis Smith first in breaststroke, 1 length, 2 and 4th in other races. Anthony Tevis, and Thomas Vick also placed 6th in team medley. Bo McDaniel first in butterfly, 1 length, 3rd and 6th in 2 other races. After the swim team won all these, they went to Lexington. These are the shirts that they will be getting. In Little League basketball, the Mavs beat the Lakers, the Heat over the Suns, Bullets over Pistons, Nuggets over Spurs, Warriors over Cavs, Hornets over Jazz, Pacers over Heat, Magic over Nets, Jazz over Bucks, Knicks over Pistons, Hawks over Lakers, Mavs over Bulls, Hornets over 76ers, Warriors over Magic, and Rockets over Suns, Heat over Spurs, Nets over Pistons, Lakers over Bullets, Pacers over Suns, and Hawks over Bulls. In Kiwanis Girl Leagues, Suns 33, Cardinals 17, the Bulls 20, and Wildcats 11. We don't know all the YMCA scores, but we will get to those next week. Suns, the Bulls over the Suns, Jazz over Spurs. And now back to Bailey with some more interesting news.
In Kentucky news, the youngest daughter of Martin Luther King Jr., Bernice King, spoke at Kentucky State University. Also in Kentucky news, a Hazard television station built its transmission tower on a Hazard mountain 10 years ago, but Buffalo Mountain is mounting, and the owners of fear the movement may bring down their 1,000-foot tower. It's scary because that site was selected because it was the highest spot up there and because there had been no mining in the area for years, said Ralph Gabbard, president of Gray Communications, which owns the stations. Our engineers told us it was solid and everything was okay. The TV station's problems are common in eastern Kentucky. Have wave after wave of surface and underground mining has made land in many places unstable. Hazard Hotel. It has even had 2 closed rooms because the ground underneath us is slipping. 2 years ago, a huge fissure developed along the face of Buffalo Mountain. With the crack came a shift of the earth under the tower, which titled Notably Gray Communications hired crews to the right of the tower, tightening some guy wires. When engineers returned to the mountain a few months ago, the tower was leaning again. They fixed it, but Gabbard said he is afraid the adjusting and the expensive process may not save the tower. If that mountain moves dramatically, that tower could come down, Gabbard said. In Kentucky news, if you love someone, use some restraint. The Valentine's Day Kentucky State Police said, and other enforcement they're stressing if people truly care about their friends and families, they'll insist on the use of seatbelts and child restraints. Glasgow may plan roadblock this month to check seatbelt use. So buckle up, kids. It's safe and it's smart. Sergeant Steve O'Daniel, commander of the Highway Safety Standards Branch, said buckling is a way to show people what you say this Valentine's Day. February is a month that reminds us to recognize those we care for through flowers, cards, and candy, O'Daniel said, because Kentucky highways are more deadly than they think. There's no better way to demonstrate love than by protecting on the road. Need something to do? Try the LSC, the popular exhibition Nature's Fury, has returned to the Louisville Science Center. The exhibition explores the forces of nature that continually reshape the earth. The cornerstone of the exhibition is the earthquake, in which researchers experience a stimulated 55 measurement earthquake plus accompanying aftershocks. Visitors can also step into blocks that represent the three types of fault movement and move their feet the same way each fault moves. The exhibition is showing through Maybe also on the first floor are historic creatures are roaming the Louisville Science Center. The popular dinosaurs will remain on view through April 30th. The robotic Dynamation beasts, which mimic the sounds and movements as best as scientists can determine, including the lizard-like Dimetron, the Triceratops, and many other dinos. Kids pace the hands-on Discovery Room for children ages 7 and under. Center hours and 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday, and 12 noon to 5 p.m. On Sunday, admission is $5. Call 502-561-6111 for more information. And now to Stacy with the Student of the Week.
I'm Stacy with weather. First, we'll take a weather forecast today. Early this morning, the National Weather Forecast changed their forecast for our area and predicted that instead of just a covering of snow, we might get 1 or 2 inches, but by looking outside, that may have to be changed again because skies are clearing and the sun is out. It will stay cold, however, with a high in the lower 30s tomorrow, except dry but cold. Highs in 15 to 20. Sunday, a little warmer, with highs of 30 to 35. That's a little warmer, but not much. Monday, we have a chance of rain and snow. It seems like all we ever forecast on HVE is snow and cold, but after all, it's still winter. We do predict that it will get warmer as spring gets nearer. For the national weather, at least we don't expect as much snow as the northeast. The competition of 2 weather systems may predict as much as 6 inches of northeastern areas. Looking at our national weather map, we have 60 in Oregon, 40 in Idaho, 70 in California, 50 in between Wyoming, Colorado, and Nebraska, 40 in Kansas, 50 in Texas, and 60 in Lower Texas. Flurries in Wisconsin, flurries in Idaho, snow in Virginia, flurries in Kentucky, and 60 in Florida. Now to Bailey with more news.
Now to Shandy with people personalities.
Visiting us today is Mr. Charles Williams, computer expert for the Glasgow school system. Could you tell us about your job?
Well, I have a lot of jobs with Glasgow Independent Schools, and some of those jobs include wiring the building, helping you get cable TV in every room, some of those types of things. My job is to fix stuff that's broken, plan on what's going to be in the future, and just basically do what needs to be done as far as technology is in Glasgow.
This summer our school had to be rewired. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we had an old type of wiring system that was in the school, had been for 7 years, and as new things come, our wiring needed to come as well. We'd had a lot of problems with software. That software problem was related directly to the wiring, so we came in, a whole crew of us, some young, some old, but we came in and put in wire in every room so that you have new wires in your rooms, you have new cable TV hookups. We old electric plant board, a lot of thanks for helping us with that. And so now we can broadcast live from every place in the building. We can also work with computers and some of the newest software now without it crashing and burning.
We understand that our lab may get some new computers in the next year. How are they different from the ones we have now?
Well, computers, interestingly enough, are kind of like steps. You have a very bottom step and a very top step. Unfortunately, we don't know where the top step is going to go, but in our level of computers here at Happy Valley, we're kind of at the bottom step with most all computers, but our objective is to get to a higher step, and next year's computer lab should have some of the newest technology, some of the newest computers that's available, so that we can run some newer, faster programs and do a lot of things like communicate through the internet and with folks or friends or family. Or we used to have pen pals all over the country, all over the world. Now we have email pals all over the country and all over the world. And hopefully by the time we get the new equipment, we'll be able to do that right here from Happy Valley Elementary.
Our new middle school, which we will be attending next year, has a lot of technology. What are some of the items they have?
Well, some of the interesting things about the middle school is not just the technology. They do have some higher step or newer machines than the elementary schools, but also they have a CD-ROM, a bank of CD-ROMs that allow you to do different forms of multimedia. Similar to that one machine that we have here at Happy Valley, they can do on almost every machine. Everybody here knows that favorite machine that's in Miss Minor's library. And so maybe next year when you get to the middle school, you'll be able to do that from anywhere.
We have a video clip of the middle school which we'd like to show now. At the end of the clip, we will also visit Bunch School where you have your repair shop. Can we cut to the tape now, please?
And I'm Bailey Schick. This time we're that has a lot of technology.
This is a VCR tower.
This tower takes the place of individual VCRs classrooms.
Teachers start and stop their videotapes with the telephones in their classroom.
This is the computer lab of PNS. While we were here, we wanted to show you some classrooms, even the ones that don't feature technology.
Yes, some of them have such neat things in them. We didn't want you to miss them. This is the home ec room.
This is the technology education room.
This is where they make the CO2 cars. This is the art room.
Dark room. This is the band room. This is the chorus room. And this is the library. Everything is bigger here.
And this is Mr. Ritter, the principal. We've come over to Budge School now to video the room where computers are repaired.
That's your mail server right there.
Mail server.
How did you learn to repair computers?
Well, some years ago, I bought a computer, and my very first computer wasn't quite as large as I would like for it to be. It had 2 floppy disk drives, and I wanted a hard drive, and eventually I had to really do some learning to put the hard drive in, and then I put a second hard drive and another floppy drive, and that's basically how I learned to work on computers, is just doing one thing at a time, finding one more new need, and working toward figuring out how to fix it.
We read in the newspaper that computer network technicians are needed.
Yes, they are, and the interesting thing about computer technicians, you called me an expert when we started, and sometimes I wonder how much of an expert I am, because things change so fast. But if I were going to make a career of being a computer technician, then I would learn to repair small things. If I were going to work with networks like we work here and all over this building, all over this district, then you have to learn something a little bit different. Well, what we need to work toward is a high school education, and then going perhaps to Kentucky Advanced Technology Center or IET, or even to college for learning different things about wiring and strategies of that nature.
Thank you for coming today. Is there anything else you'd want to tell us?
Well, I was asked, what do I do in my spare time? Well, I get on TV and I do other things that are fun, but basically I take care of my grandchild, and we have lots of fun. She's named after me, Handsome Charlie Joe. Yes, that's what she's called, Charlie Joe. And so anyway, if this makes it out of Glasgow and maybe back home, I would like very much for my children and my grandchildren and my wife to get to see it. Thanks for having me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the halls. Bye.
Now to Stacy with Student of the Week. The Student of the Week today is Marlon Coase, appropriate for this weekend weather. This student is nominated by Miss Rucker. He is Jason Hampney. Jason has improved his attitude, and working habits. He has many friends at Happy Valley. Jason works with all his subjects at school. Congratulations, Jason Happney, Student of the Week, February 16, 1996. Dinner compliments from Shoney's of Glasgow. As we sign off today, we leave you with a clip of news broadcast. It is from our friends at the Glasgow Middle School. Have a good day. And now to Bailey.
Tune in on Fridays at 9 a.m.
Calvert and Nunn Insurance not only offer a variety of policies, but are exceptional in their customer service and up-to-date quotes. Contact Vicki Bartley and her staff for any of your insurance needs. Calvert and Nunn Insurance is next to the Plaza Theater in downtown Glasgow.